Network. WNN.
The opinions expressed on the following sponsored program are strictly those of the host, guests, and callers, and not necessarily those of this station, its staff, management, or sponsors. AMP2.TV presents Tell Us Your Business, where you're invited on the air to tell us what makes your business stand out in the community. It's important we hear from you to tell us all we need to know about what you do best. Tell Us Your Business uses the latest radio and television production systems, and all shows can be seen on AMP2.TV. If you have a question for our guest, call 888-565-1470. Now, let's get ready as our guest hits the airwaves and informs us about what we need to know on Tell Us Your Business.
I'm scared, but I'll do anything for you.
We're on. Go ahead.
Welcome to Tell Us Your Biz. I'm your host, Barbara Beckler. You can find us on Facebook, on AMP2 TV Productions, 95.3 FM, 1470 AM radio. Give us a call at 888-565-1470. That's 888-565-1470. So welcome to Tell Us Your Biz show. I have as my beautiful guest tonight, Faith Washington. We met recently, and she was kind enough to invite me onto her show. And I definitely wanted more, with her, so invited her on here. She came into Living Waters Med Spa. We're located in Boca at 425 Federal Highway. And she came in with her daughter, Taylor. They were very sick with the flu. And we were just so blessed to be able to help her. And so I wanted to have her on so that, she could just give firsthand experience of how, they felt after. And what we did on them was an IV vitamin therapy. We have many therapies, but we did IV vitamin therapy to really support and boost their immune system. And Faith,
we needed that because my daughter and I were so incredibly sick. And this is really what I want to share with the audience. And Barbara, thank you so much for inviting me. I really appreciate it. It gives me that opportunity to tell how Taylor and I met you, and we've become friends, and it's wonderful. But Taylor and I had been sick for 2 solid weeks. I couldn't work. She couldn't go to school. We really barely got out of bed. I mean, we could barely eat. And I thought, okay, we need IV therapy because Taylor's so dehydrated. She started to really go downhill. And I thought, I don't want her to end up in the hospital. And I knew that would be hours of waiting, that it would be, very, very expensive, and that we might even get sicker because of all the bacteria and the waiting and being in that type of environment. So I thought, all right, what's the name of that place that's over by the little chalet? And I remembered, okay, Living Waters. So I looked it up, and I gave Barbara a call. She answered the phone, and she literally said, let me call in my RN so that we can get you in here today. She calls her RN in, and literally myself, Taylor, and 2 other women, we were all so sick. And she took care of us. She gave us the IVs, put us in a room together so we would feel comfortable. And she went so far above and beyond any kind of customer service. And I thought, that's what I do for people. Mm-hmm. It's just the natural way of loving on people and taking care of them. And Barbara brought that to us at a time when, I have to tell you something, we were feeling really, really bad.
Oh, I felt so bad for you. You were in tears because I know a mother's love for their child. And honestly, you were more concerned about Taylor, but once we got her hooked up, then I was like, okay, Mom, you know, and how about you? And we'll sit you right here next to, Taylor. And so she was like, my mom's 92. She's a firecracker. And she always said, if you don't take care of yourself, then how can you take care of your loved ones,
Especially
so that's
your child.
what I said to Faith. She was, you know what, you're right.
And so I did
we hooked her up. And
the next day, so the next day, we felt phenomenal. I'm telling you. So if you get sick, if you're having any sort of illness issues, please call Barbara. I have to tell you something. I've never gone from zero to hero in one day after having that IV therapy.
Yeah, and we were really, really, so happy to get you back on your feet. But a lot of people don't realize too that when you're first coming down with something, be proactive.
Right.
The best kind
Right.
of medicine is preventative. So
And in other words, doing the therapy before you get sick.
You get sick.
Yes,
Absolutely.
agreed.
We have a lot of athletes and people that are into fitness like yourself
Yes.
that come in weekly to get, a Myers cocktail or the glutathione push, which is an amazing antioxidant.
Right.
It's a wonderful detox, for your liver, for your body.
Right.
And a side benefit is beautiful skin. So, I mean,
Oh,
it's
that's a
just-
win-win.
Yeah, that's a win-win
That's
all the
a
way around. So whether
win-win.
it's B12, and of course we look at each individual and what their needs are and what their lifestyle is. Nothing is a
Right.
cookie cutter. Everything is
It's customized.
it's customized for
Individualized.
the individual person coming in as to what your needs are. And since then, you've been in for PRP,
Yes,
which is
yes.
platelet-rich plasma.
Yes, you gave me
treatments.
the
The
facial,
microneedling,
the microneedling.
radio
They're
frequency.
little gold needles on your skin, and it looks amazing. It made the skin on my face feel incredible.
And was there any downtime? Were you better
no,
when you
no,
left? Was that amazing?
No, not at all. No little blood marks like you think you'd have little
Amazing.
stick marks, but nothing. It was
Nothing.
fantastic.
Well, the difference between that and some of the other treatments that are still very good, remember there's a treatment for a specific purpose.
Right.
But the beauty of this particular treatment is that it combines the radiofrequency skin tightening with 25 gold tip needles that go directly in and directly out while we're delivering that platelet-rich plasma full of growth factors into all those microchannels.
Just out of curiosity, if you don't mind my asking, you don't have to answer, but can you explain to them the PRP, platelet-rich plasma? I mean, I think that's kind of fascinating.
yeah.
And it's important.
Platelet-rich plasma is derived from your own blood. So when you come in for any of the PRP treatments, the first thing we do is draw your blood, and then we have special centrifuges that spin it down and process it and extract the richest part of it, which is
beautiful.
the platelet-rich plasma.
It's gold.
Yes,
It's a gold
yes.
color.
So it's rich in growth factors, and it literally cuts the healing time down, to less than half of what it normally be. And for joints, orthopedic uses, it can heal joints. I mean, for
If it's injected.
if it's injected. So
Okay.
there's different uses for it. We use it for
Okay.
hair restoration. We use it for skin rejuvenation. We use it for sexual wellness. The P shot for men, the O shot for women.
Can you explain those?
It is
Because I think
amazing.
that's a big part of as our population ages.
Yes.
Then you lose hormones, and when your hormone levels go down, not only do you need to replacement there, which we'll get into that,
Yes.
but there's also the P shot and the O shot. And
Yes.
until I met her, I'd never heard of them. I didn't know what they were.
Right. So it's amazing because you know what? With aging, Faith, you're exactly right. With bioidentical hormones are very important to get those in line. And we're very big on testing for those and letting you know where you stand with that. But when they start to decline, a big thing is moisture loss. So
For
joint pain, for
all over the body.
vaginal, for all over
Okay,
the body.
got it.
So with the stimulation, remember, PRP, the way that it works is that when we inject, no matter where it is, whether it's vaginally or into the penis or into a joint,
Okay.
it is going to draw the whole healing cascade of the body.
Okay.
The first stage is the inflammatory stage, which signals your body, I need healing.
Right.
Right? When you cut yourself, it gets a little red,
Right.
and then it just, attracts all the cytokines and macrophages, to it to start the healing process. The second, which is during the proliferative stage, that's
Right.
what the healing, that's when it starts. So that lasts another 3 weeks or so. And then the remodeling stage, which is stage 3, is where the results just keep getting better and better and better. So there's 3 stages: inflammatory, the proliferative, and the remodeling. Now, we also have other additions like nitrous oxide to a car, a gas tank, where you can either get bone-derived stem cells from
Okay.
your own bone marrow, or you can use allografts, which are from amniotic fluid
Okay.
and the umbilical cord. And when you combine that with PRP for the P-shot, for joint injections, it's amazing. The
So
healing.
in other words, it amps it up.
It amps it up
More.
incredibly.
Wow.
And like, I think we talked about one day, you can't even turn on ESPN without seeing a professional athlete. They're getting PRP. They're getting this treatment to
Right.
naturally. We create an environment, say in the joint, and wherever it's being injected, say for hair restoration,
Okay.
for the body to naturally heal itself. So whether, say, the follicles are damaged, whether they're dormant, we wake them back up.
Wow. And so that would apply to, that's why you have athletes, because you get a lot of
Yes.
shoulder issues.
Yes,
You have
golfers,
the knees, the hips, everywhere.
So it's good for joints. It's good for soft tissue.
And then that healing goes on. And so instead of replacing a joint or trying to go in and fix something, what you're really doing is you're creating the body's own natural environment to go back to normalcy, which we call homeostasis,
Yes,
and actually heal itself.
that's right. That's right.
Teresa's on the phone. Is that a patient of yours?
Teresa was a patient that we recently treated, and we did we used stem cell and for her sarcoidosis.
Oh, wow.
And she got amazing results. I was so blessed to receive her text saying that she had gone off all of her pain pills and muscle relaxers.
That's amazing.
Yes.
Is she can we hear her? Okay.
Hello, Teresa?
Here. Yes, can you hear me?
I don't hear her.
Yeah, I don't hear her either.
No, we're not hearing anything.
We're not hearing her.
I'm here.
There she
Hi,
is.
how
Hi,
are you?
Teresa.
Hi, how are you?
Good. How are you feeling?
Oh, wonderful, marvelous.
Aw, that's wonderful to hear. Tell our listeners here, we're on live radio and Facebook. So tell our listeners here about your experience and share with them a little bit.
Okay, as Barbara told you, I have been in pain because I have sarcoidosis, and it is spread from my spleen to my lower and upper back and into my hips. And there's no cure, and I've had it for how many years? And I have literally eaten muscle relaxers, 5 times a day. And, that's no picnic, and, and pain pills. And I have been excruciating pain. So I went to Barbara, and she was telling me about the stem cells. And her and Dr. Y, they were all wonderful. Dr. Y, Barbara, the staff, they were great. And since I left them, and of course, Barbara kept telling me, "Are you all right? You all right?" She's a tiny little angel, I'll tell you. But it was great. And since I have been back, I have not had one pain pill and not one muscle relaxer.
Praise the Lord.
That's awesome.
Awesome.
That's great,
Wonderful.
Teresa.
She's referring to
Yeah.
Dr. Y. That's Dr. Bose Yalamanchi. He's our medical
Yeah.
director. And just amazing. He's such a highly respected plastic surgeon, and we're so blessed to have him with us now for 22 years. So he was
wonderful. I
there.
love
Two of
him.
our nurse practitioners were there for this particular procedure, and you were such a wonderful patient. You were the angel.
you.
So we're so
you.
glad that your results were wonderful, and we hope to help many more people. And we thank you for calling in, Teresa.
Thanks, Teresa.
Thank you, and God bless you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Aw. So let me remind everyone that we are on AMP2 TV Productions, 95.3 FM, 1470 AM. And you can give us a call at 888-565-1470 if you have any questions. Living Waters Rejuvenation Med Spa is located at 425 South Federal Highway. And our phone number there is 561-894-6006. That's 561-894-6006. We welcome your calls. We're happy to set up consultations for you, which are just one-on-one, and we can answer your questions confidentially. You're in a very comfortable, safe environment, and we would love to help you, whether it's with a beauty need or whether it's with a health, because we really believe that it's all a whole. What good is it to look beautiful if you're not feeling great from the inside out? And that's really where it begins. And we really feel at Living Waters, and so blessed to have long-time staff, members with us, 11 years, one nurse practitioner, 6 years, another Dr. Ellen Monchi of 22 years. And we really love our patients, and so we want to love on you.
And people never want to leave your presence. I love that. So listen, we also just touched briefly on the bioidentical hormones.
Yes.
So kind of give us a little bit of a rundown on that, and the possibilities of internal health and well-being.
Yes.
as especially for women. I don't know about everybody else, but I had a really tough time through pregnancy and afterwards, and my thyroid was shot. I was experiencing all these horrible problems, and this is quite a long time ago, and I righted everything by using the correct supplements, etc. But Barbara, you guys do the bioidenticals, and you do pelleting. So give us a little bit about that for men and for women.
For men and for women. So, for example, we had a hair restoration seminar Monday night, which was wonderful. And I had the opportunity to speak with one of the attendees, which was a female, privately at the end. And after just a 5-minute conversation, I knew right away. I was like, when was the last time you had your hormones checked? Because she was there for thinning hair. But when she told me the rest of her symptoms, I was like, you really need to come in and let us run a panel. When was the last time you had? Never.
Wow.
So
no wonder why.
Sign someone up for hair restoration when that's not her root cause. We're here to help the individual, whatever their need is.
Right. So in other words, and this is what I love about Barbara. She's not there just to sell you something. What she really does is she goes after, as she said, she goes to the root cause. Okay, what do we need to do first? First things first. Let's go step by step by step. Take our time and make more sense. And you know what? And frankly, the value add there is a huge difference, simply because look at the difference. There's a big difference in price between the hair restoration, and getting your hormones checked and done.
Is. But
that's so kind. It's a really loving way to treat people.
With men, it's different. It's with male pattern baldness and the different things. It's more cut and dried. Although we still do offer to check all of their hormones, because after a certain age, if men lose testosterone, you're looking at not just. You're looking at everything. It's the big picture. It's lean muscle mass.
Right.
You're looking at bone density. You're looking at libido. You're looking at concentration and energy, fat loss, the heart
as well.
Everything. So, it's men and women. Are women a little bit more complicated? Yes, but that's why you love us. and that's why we can, love you. Trust me. But it really is important for both men and women, and so we do offer it for both. And we love the pellet method. It is not the only method, and there is a small percentage of the population that, maybe there's a different delivery system, which we would also offer with creams or the troches, under their tongue. But by and large, pellets are amazing. Our clients love them, because you don't have to think about it for 4 to 6 months.
Which is
great. You have
great.
this constant stream, which, by the way, is customized according
to their
your
body.
blood work and your needs in the safe zone. We're not talking about, bumping up. This is the healthy zone, and our people love it, and they just they tell me all the time, you have changed my life.
I love hearing that.
I've had husbands call me, and they're like, I love you.
I just love
start
hearing
laughing,
that.
and I'm like, I bet you do.
Yeah, because they get their wife back.
They get their wife back.
You get your wife or your husband back, or the two of you come back together, and it's like, wow.
It is.
And you
It
don't know
is.
what you're missing until you know what you're missing.
Exactly. Yeah, I've had women come back and say, you know what, I actually
Forgot.
feel bad for him for these past however many years.
Right.
You know, about her husband, and and it's just all, and that's why I love to educate. I don't sell
that's what you
anything.
do.
I love to just share. I'm not one of those like secretive people or whatever. I'm like, oh, Botox. Oh yeah, I love Botox. You know, it's just, you know what I mean. I share, and I'm always going to be honest. I'm always
Yes,
going to be honest with
absolutely.
the person. No, you
Agreed.
You know, I don't think that's going to give you the outcome that you're looking for. Save your money on that one.
Right.
You know, so but
But that honesty
That's it.
really goes a long way in attracting patients and clients, because they know that they can come in and they can trust that you're going to give them the best result, and they're not going to have to worry about, wow, am I going to spend too much? No.
Well,
They're going to get the
blessed
greatest
me.
value.
They blessed me. My father passed away from Alzheimer's 5 years ago, and I wish that, you know, we would have had this back then.
Right.
And I had Lyme disease in 2006. So autoimmune, you know, this is where my path down the wellness path began. And God always uses things that are hardship, and He turns it around for your good.
Yep.
And allows you to use that knowledge that you've learned to be a blessing to others. So for autoimmune disorders, you know, we've got therapies that are amazing, and to be able to help people, or even to me, you know, and I love children, I love all people, but I really believe that the elderly are so easily forgotten.
I
And
agree.
now it's so easy for people just say, oh, they have dementia, they have Alzheimer's. You know, there are things that can help, and there are things to be proactive before that, to keep that from setting in. My father was clinically deficient in B12 for 5 years.
And
once
nobody
I
knew.
pulled his primary records, and nothing was done about it.
And wait, and vitamin D too, you told.
And vitamin D.
So those two things are
D3,
critical.
B12, and in the
Critical.
methylcobalamin form, not the cyanocobalamin.
Right, not the cyano. The cyano's not as well absorbed.
It's not as well absorbed. So, you know, again, we're just here, you know, just to educate people, to help them, to improve their quality of life. We want them to enjoy their golden years, whether they want to
Yes.
walk down the beach, whether they want to golf, play tennis.
They should be
whatever.
active. You should be active until you kick the bucket.
And if you're
Did
not
I say that out loud?
mobile, yes, yeah. If you're
better
not
be
mobile
active.
because you're in pain,
And you shouldn't
then
be.
you're going to continue to go downhill. You know, you have to stay. My mom says, use it or lose it.
She's right.
Use it or
You've
lose
got
it.
to
And
use
at
the
92,
muscles.
let me tell you.
You got to be active. You literally need that type of
You
energetic
do.
output.
Yes.
And it
yeah.
makes you feel better.
It does. It does. I mean, your circulation, you know, what are we? You know what
We're
I'm saying?
moving sentient beings.
Exactly. And so to get that oxygen, to get that blood flow, to get everything, you know, there's a lot of things. We help with diet. We help with supplements. You know,
Good.
we help
That's
with,
wonderful.
like you said, the vitamin IVs,
Right.
the PRP, our allografts, and bone marrow-derived stem cells. I mean, I really believe it is the future. And
I
I'm
agree.
so excited, you know, to be in this place at this time.
place at this time. It's
Right.
perfect. It's
Right.
Perfect timing.
So,
And you
yeah.
offer such a giant menu of things. You've got like three, but you offer such a giant menu of things. I mean, the first time I looked at all the things that Barbara and her staff offer, I couldn't believe it. I thought, this is one-stop shop.
Well, we tried to take the best of the best, again, taking the whole person
Yes,
into account,
holistically.
the inside and the outside. So I hope that you will call us again, Living Waters Rejuvenation Med Spa. We are at 425 South Federal Highway, 561-894-6006. That's 561-894-6006. Live well, be beautiful. That's our tagline, and that's what we hope to share with everyone.
Thank you so much, Barbara, for inviting me on. I really appreciate
Thank you
it.
for coming and for being such a beautiful representation
Well,
of what we do.
Thank you.
So, God bless you.
Thank you. I'm so pleased. And I just want to say to the audience, just come into her spa, because you walk in the door and it's a palace. It is the most beautiful place. You just really wouldn't believe it until you visited. And
Thank you.
and I'm very excited for you and for the future, and
Thank you so
really
much.
for Boca Raton and all the surrounding areas. This is just a beautiful place, and you are
Thank you.
beautiful
Thank
inside
you.
and out.
Thank you so much.
All
Faye.
right.
Thank you for coming.
Okay, thank you. All right. I guess we say good night.
Good night. Good night, all.
Thanks, everybody.
God
Bye.
bless you. Thanks for joining us.
Okay.
This has been Tell Us Your Business, where a special guest comes on every week and tells us what they do. All shows can be seen on amp2.tv, and if you wish to be a guest, call 866-224-5422 and tell us about your business. That's 866-224-5422. This has been an amp2.tv production. The opinions expressed on the preceding sponsored program were strictly those of its hosts, guests, and callers, and not necessarily those of the station, its staff, management, or sponsors.
This is Lee Habib for Our American Stories. It's a great way to cuddle up to the radio and hear fascinating stories about people you know and some pretty amazing stories about people you don't know.
Weekdays, 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. on WNN. Times are tough, and right now those in the commercial world know that being heard via advertisements is the name of the game. AmpSquare.tv understands how important advertisement is and is proud to express that it's truly the only plugged-in internet television production company on the market. Amp2.tv live streams all their shows across all the major selling markets in the U.S. and abroad. Call them at 866-224-5422. The AmpSquare.tv library allows productions to be seen over and over again, making commercial platforms more usable. Call 866-224-5422. Toll free 866-224-5422. Amp2.tv, the first and only internet television network that's truly plugged in. 866-224-5422. That's AMP, the number 2.tv. Does your child learn best when they see and experience information? Is your child smarter than indicated by test results? 3D Learner is an integrated learning program that helps identify your child's strengths and challenges. 3D Learner's individualized program for academic and athletic success will significantly improve reading comprehension, test scores, and self-esteem. Contact 3D Learner today for more information. Call 561-361-7495 to unlock your child's true potential. Visit us at 3dlearner.com or call 561-361-7495.
Talk health, talk wealth, talk politics, talk 1470 and 95.3 FM, WNN.
The opinions expressed on the following sponsored program are strictly those of the host, guests, and callers, and not necessarily those of this station, its staff, management, or sponsors. Amp2.tv presents Tell Us Your Business, where you're invited on the air to tell us what makes your business stand out in the community. It's important we hear from you to tell us all we need to know about what you do best. Tell Us Your Business uses the latest radio and television production systems, and all shows can be seen on amp2.tv. If you have a question for our guest, call 888-565-1470. Now, let's get ready as our guest hits the airwaves and informs us about what we need to know on Tell Us Your Business.
Hi, welcome to Tell Us Your Biz. I'm your host, Tammy Fogarty. You can find us on Facebook on AMP2TV Productions, 95.3 FM and 1470 AM. And give us a call if you want to join the conversation, 888-565-1470. We would love for you to join the conversation, so don't be shy. Give us a call. Again, I'm Tammy Fogarty, and I am here with Monica Schmidt. I am a nutritionist and the owner of Tammy Fogarty Nutrition and Wellness. Monica is an exercise physiologist and yoga instructor, and she is the owner of American Yoga in Deerfield Beach, Florida. So before we tell you about our businesses and what we do, I kind of want to know what's going on with you. So it's Friday, perhaps an end to a long week. Maybe you're feeling a little bit stressed out. So what are you doing right now? Maybe you're heading to the gym, maybe to work off a little bit of steam, maybe release some of that stress, or are you driving home with a pizza in your passenger seat? So sometimes our mood dictates our actions. So if you had a stressful week, how are you starting your weekend? And this is what we're going to talk about. So did you know that the stress that you experience throughout the week affects your mood, and your mood completely affects your behaviors? So your behaviors are your actions and why you do certain things. And this is what we're going to talk to you about. But before we go into that, Monica, how do you relieve stress?
Well, number one thing is yoga, of course. I've been
course.
doing yoga for about 20 years now, and it is the number one thing that relieves my stress. I also love being outside, anything outdoors, even a simple walk around the neighborhood. A 20-minute walk just completely lifts me and restores my mood. What about you? What do you do to relieve stress?
I go to your yoga class. So there's days where, I'm that person that says yes to everything. So I tend to put a lot of stress on my plate. And when it gets to that point where I really can't problem solve, I'm really not feeling well, I'm out of sorts, I will march myself into a yoga class, because at the end of the class, it's like, whew, you have a breath of fresh air, and I can strategize my day, I can think clearly. Sometimes I cook something healthy. So I'm a nutritionist, so I love that. Maybe I'll stop halfway through my day and make a big pot of soup and kind of put my energy into something healthy. And this is what we're going to talk to you guys about today, because it's such a big part of our business. And we have 5 strategies that we're going to share with you. We're not going to get into it just yet, so hang on. But it's ways that you can overcome feeling stressful. And a lot of people turn to food when they're feeling stressed out, and that's known as stress eating or emotional eating. So we'll talk about 5 strategies to prevent that. And again, if you want to give us a call and share with us how you deal with stress or how you overcome stress, 888-565-1470. We'd love to hear from you. So, Monica, how did you get involved in becoming a yoga instructor, and how did you start your business?
I got involved in yoga completely on accident. I was in my early 20s, feeling lazy, unfit, overweight, depressed, and miserable, and I knew I should start working out and doing something. So I started a program and slowly became addicted, which led me to becoming a personal trainer, which led me to being an aerobics instructor. And that was a great fit for me because I love dance and music and choreography. So I was teaching at several gyms and country clubs. And after one of my aerobic classes, the yoga instructor was a no-show. So the club owner said, get in there and teach the yoga class. I know you've done yoga. I know you can do it. So I did, and I just faked my way through it.
So you were just thrown into the fire.
Completely,
that's
by
awesome.
accident.
Sometimes that's the best way, when you're just thrown into something and it's turned into your complete passion.
It has.
Tell us about your studio.
I opened the studio in 2009. It's called American Yoga. It's in the Cove Shopping Center in Deerfield Beach. And we have group classes for all levels, as well as a teacher's training program.
So the teacher training program is so that people can become certified to teach,
They
right?
can become teachers. I was really passionate about starting the teacher's training program because I wanted to get the word out about yoga and what a powerful tool it is in life for stress reduction and also to maintain a healthy body. So I figured what better way to do that than to train people to teach yoga like
Awesome.
you.
Yeah, I did. I am actually a graduate of Monica's 200-hour program, and I teach at her studio.
And you're a fantastic teacher.
Thank you. You guys can come on down, American Yoga, take a class. And I actually opened up my nutrition office inside of the studio. So you can come down and get yoga and nutrition at American Yoga.
Yes.
So my business is Tammy Fogarty Nutrition and Wellness. And I started it about 2 years ago. Monica said, hey, you want to rent out this room? And I was like, yeah, let's do it. And outside of being a nutritionist, I'm also a college professor. So I said, now's the time to do it. And I started my consulting business. So I do nutrition consulting. And I got into nutrition, God, a long time ago, 17 years now.
What was your initial interest in that?
So it's kind of a crazy story. My mom was diagnosed with breast cancer when I was really young. I was in 3rd grade. And, she went through chemotherapy, radiation, had a double mastectomy, went into remission, and it came back when I graduated high school. And so again, she went through chemo, radiation, but it came back with a vengeance. And, she was really, really sick. And my cousin sent us a book called A Cancer Battle Plan. It was by a lady named Anne Fromm, who basically was sent home to die because the doctors had exhausted all of their medical options for her. And she went completely alternative and turned to herbs and nutrition and spiritual healing. And she extended her life far beyond what the doctors expected. And my mom and I were reading this book, and we're like, oh, because we never thought about nutrition. And a lot of you may, that are driving and listening to the radio right now, like, what role does nutrition play in your life? I mean, I grew up as the standard American diet with hot dogs,
McDonald's, pizza. Me too.
Lots of junk food, that's
Yes.
saturated fat and lots of sugar. I was a sugar addict. So we never put two and two that nutrition can heal the body until we read this book, and we transformed our lives. And I was going to go to school for physical therapy, and I switched to nutrition, got my bachelor's degree. Unfortunately, my mom lost her battle with breast cancer before I graduated.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, me too. But I went on and got my master's because I knew there was so much more about nutrition that I wanted to learn. And I wanted to educate people and show people what my mom did. And so I got my master's, and 10 years later, my first husband was diagnosed with pancreatic cancer.
What are the chances?
I know. So cancer has always kind of been, unfortunately, in my life, but I really was able to see how nutrition can play a vital role in healing and health. He lost his battle as well, and I was like, I got to continue this journey in nutrition. So I started my PhD, and I just did a dissertation.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Monica was a huge part of it. We did a intervention out of the yoga studio. It was a nutrition and yoga intervention for breast cancer survivors. And we looked at quality of life and diet quality, and it was amazing. And these women really embraced yoga, because if you look at someone who's dealing with an illness, and for any of you listeners that are dealing with an illness, beyond the illness, there's stress.
Absolutely.
And that stress is really what drives our behaviors. So how do you deal with those stress? How do you deal with all of those emotions? So again, if any of you want to share that with us, give us a call, 888-565-1470. Join the conversation. Don't be shy. So shall we talk about...
I'm just going to chime in and say
Yeah.
another huge stress reducer for me is getting a good night's sleep.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you just think so much more clearly when you're well rested. And if I don't get a good night's sleep, I try to sneak in a nap. I know that is a luxury that not everyone has, and I don't have it all the time either. But when you don't sleep, you're cranky. So if you don't get a good night's in, your full 8 hours, even 20 minutes will make you feel so much better. It does me.
Yeah, and I'm actually really glad you mentioned that, because there's a lot of research that shows when you are sleep deprived, and you all may not know this, but those food cravings you get can be because of your lack of sleep. So how much sleep do you try to get per night?
I'm a good sleeper. I like 9 hours, but 8 will do.
Wow,
8 will do.
I'm like 5 or 6 if I'm lucky. So I just saw a study conducted by the Mayo Clinic, and it said that people who sleep less than 6 hours per night increase their caloric intake by at least 667 calories. I'm not sure where they got exact that number, but that's the average. So if you are sleep deprived, you can be overeating just because of your hormone levels. So
I feel like I've experienced that. If I did not get a good night's sleep, my cravings go up. And
yeah,
I'll eat a nice big something unhealthy.
like a hamburger.
Let's not go crazy. Maybe half a donut. No, I'm just kidding. But then after that craving meal, I do get sleepy. So they're definitely tied in. You certainly know more about it than I do in terms of technicality, but I do feel that is something I've experienced, that craving from lack of sleep. So
Yeah.
that's huge.
So, and when we have a lack of sleep, we're tired, right? We're anxious. We can't really deal with stressful situations. So what do we do when we can't deal with stressful situations, or we don't feel good? We find something that brings us comfort, and it's usually a donut, a bag of chips, something that brings you joy. And those salty, sweet foods, so foods that are high in fat, high in sugar, do trigger a certain part of the brain that brings you comfort. And it's known as comfort foods. Like, what's your comfort food?
So many.
I think mine's probably pizza, that saucy, cheesy.
I love pizza, potato chips and dip, French
Yeah.
onion dip.
So whatever your food, that comfort food, it brings us comfort. But keep in mind that when we choose food to bring us comfort, we're really kind of pushing aside that emotion. So it's a distraction. Food becomes our distraction and we don't deal with the emotions. And those are part of the 5 keys, the triggers that we're going to talk about.
I have a question for
Yeah,
you.
yeah.
Let's say you have a stressful feeling and you're not conscious and you just go ahead and you say, you know what, I'm going to have those French fries. You eat the fries, an hour later, the feeling arises again, yes?
Yeah.
It keeps coming back.
Yeah.
So it's a temporary fix.
Exactly. It's a Band-Aid because you're not dealing with the emotion.
Okay.
Do you want to talk about how, with physical activity, how it actually, the physiological things that happen to your body when you are physically active, like the benefits of it?
There are so many. 2 physiological components that are so relative to stress with exercise is one is sleep. I'll go right back to that.
We love sleep.
I love sleep. Because when your body is tired, when the muscles are fatigued, and you've had the cardiovascular event in your system, you're more tired at night. It's easier to go to sleep because your body needs it. Your body needs to repair tissue. Your body needs to restore itself. More good news, your body will burn more calories at rest because it is repairing itself from the little damages that you do when you exercise. And you do damage tissue when you exercise. It's part of the process of getting stronger.
Right.
Also, when you exercise, you release endorphins, which is basically like natural morphine. You guys might have heard of runner's high.
Yeah.
Or if you do take yoga, hopefully you come and take yoga at American Yoga and you can
Yeah.
experience a yoga high for
You
yourself.
can be yoga stoned.
You get yoga stoned, you get really blissed out, and your mood
It's
is
awesome.
elevated, and it kicks off your day in the best mood possible.
Yeah. Now, what do you do for people that are new to yoga? Like, how would you recommend they get started?
Just come in and go for it.
Kind of like your experience with yoga. Just
Exactly.
dive in.
That's probably not true in all studios. I can only speak to our studio, and you know this as well. We are open, inviting, all levels, no pressure to perform or do any poses that your body isn't comfortable with.
Right.
You just start where you are.
And
That's it.
I think we're nurturing. We're more of a nurturing studio. So
Absolutely.
all levels are welcome. And I always throw in nutrition stuff in my classes.
Of course you
There's-
do.
Of course. There's always something
You've
to
got
talk
the
about
platform.
nutrition.
Use it.
All right, let's dive into these steps. What do you think?
I would love to dive into the
All
steps.
right.
Is it all right if I interrupt you occasionally if I have some 2 cents or I have a
Absolutely.
question?
Absolutely. Before
Okay.
we do that, I want to tell people how to find American Yoga.
Okay.
So it's in Deerfield Beach, Florida. Go to AmericanYoga.net.
AmericanYoga.net. There is a contact click, which I will receive that email directly, and you can find our schedule online as well.
Yep. And you can find me through that website as well, or go to nutritiontammy.com. It's TAMMY, or give me a call at 888-84-TAMMY.
Perfect.
I know. Easy.
Easy.
All right. So here's these 5 steps so that you can overcome stress eating. So the first thing you need to do is determine what your triggers are. So a trigger is some kind of stressful event that triggers a reaction. So think about it. I'm going to paint you a picture. Think of a mom going to pick up her kids 3:30 in the afternoon. She's got 3 kiddos. She's in the car. She's got to take one to soccer practice and the other to a tutor, and the other one maybe needs to get home and do math homework. And that would set me off right there because I don't know how kids do math anymore. It's kind of different than how we learned math. But, you know, she's juggling these 3 kids. Maybe the dogs need to go for a walk. She's trying to figure out how to get dinner started, and her mind's racing in a million different directions. And before you know it, your hand is in a bag of chips, and you're eating chips. So one of the things to identify is what causes you stress and what you're doing. So if you're always eating chips around 4 o'clock, you're going to need to figure out what was that trigger. So for a busy mom, it might be that she doesn't have good time management skills. So first thing that you have to do is determine what are your stressors and what are the behaviors. What are your reactions to that behavior? So for most people, it's eating. Do you want to add anything to that? thought you might want
Just that I've absolutely experienced that.
Yeah,
I
Monica's
think
got 3 kiddos.
I think we all have. For me, it's a little different. I'm opposite than most people. Work makes me happy. I get to go in a yoga studio where everyone is happy to see me. Everyone's happy coming, and they're even happier going after the class. And so sometimes when I walk in the door and kid stuff happens and it's real life, that really stresses me out.
Right.
With the laundry and the dogs and the other house chores that just build up. Luckily, I have a very helpful husband that helps with that. But when I was able to determine those triggers and deal with it different, it changed.
Yeah. So
Yeah, walk back outside the house and go for that walk immediately. Get those endorphins going, and you're going to walk back into the same situation with a different mindset.
oh, and that's so important.
Yeah.
That's a great point. So that's the first one. Identify those triggers. The second one, you have to ride out that storm. So think of your emotions like tides that come in and go out. So when the tides are coming in, your emotions are going strong. Things may seem overwhelming at that time, but keep in mind that tide's going to go out, right? It's going to go back. Things are going to be calmer. It's going to restore that sense of calm. So a lot of times we don't want to feel those emotions, so we do those behaviors in order to not feel the emotion. But when you allow yourself to go through it, you're going to be able to better understand that. And we talk about this in yoga all the time.
I was going to mention that. So many people think of yoga as just the physical component, but there are lifestyle guides in practicing yoga, and one of them is to observe yourself. And if you get really caught up in your emotions and you're driven by that, you won't be able to do that. And a way to catch yourself so you are watching what you're feeling and allowing yourself to feel it is calm breathing. Yogic breathing, a 4-part breath. Inhale, count to 4. Exhale, count to 4. It seems pretty easy, and it works wonders because when you slow your breath, your entire respiratory system gets calm. Your heart rate slows down, and it triggers your body. We're not stressed.
Right.
All the cells are dancing. We're calm in here. We're happy. So very simple. Calm breath work.
Yeah, and just, it's going to restore that peace.
Absolutely.
All right. So, and remember, like if you're choosing food, food is going to distract you from that emotion. So if you're not dealing with the emotion and you're just eating, that can lead to weight gain, and which nobody wants that. We want to be healthy.
Yes.
So let's learn to ride out the storm. The third step is don't empower food. So grabbing food when you feel stress gives food the power beyond meeting your nutritional needs. So don't give food that power. Eat food to live, right? To provide the nutrients and the nutrition that you need. But again, when you are empowering food, you're just kind of putting a Band-Aid on the situation. Those comfort foods, it kind of comes back to that comfort. When you're grabbing something that brings you comfort. So we have to find a different way to bring us comfort. So the breath work is a perfect example. Taking a quick walk if you can, or just, standing back and drinking a glass of water just to kind of clear your mind. And remember,
a step back or a step out, physically or metaphorically, is huge. You can't always step away.
Right.
You perhaps have an office job. You're at your desk. Maybe you can put in your earbuds for 5 minutes and close your eyes and listen to your favorite song or some calm music and let yourself catch up with yourself.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
Feel, right?
Because remember, when you feel stressed, we have our cortisol levels. Like our little adrenal glands release these things called, or our stress hormone called cortisol. So it's the way your body reacts to stress. So when you're stressed, your cortisol levels increase and it releases blood sugar. When we have blood sugar released into our bloodstream, it releases insulin. And what happens is we store that blood sugar as fat.
So it does affect metabolism.
Absolutely.
So it's not just what you're eating, what you're putting in your body. It's compounded because now you've got cortisol in the system, which will slow your metabolism?
Yes, because you're releasing all that blood sugar. So that blood sugar has to go somewhere. And if your body doesn't need it for energy, it's just going to turn around and store it as fat. So for some of you that may have trouble with dealing with weight management, one of the best methods is by just reducing your stress. So maybe you don't have to go on some crazy diet. You just need to learn to reduce your stress. Come do yoga with us.
Come do yoga with us.
So step number 4 is finding a healthy way to cope. So we mentioned yoga. That's one healthy way to cope. Monica, you had mentioned something to me not too long ago about reading. You like to read a good book.
I do. I love fiction. I love biographies and autobiographies, especially from people who I find inspiring. It's just a little bit of an escapism in the day, 20 minutes, go down that rabbit hole of a really good story.
Yeah.
And when you come back from that, so to speak, when you put the book down, your mind just had a break from the thinking about all of the things that are causing you stress throughout the day. So, you know what? Now that I'm thinking of it, even a magazine, right? Just flip the pages. Favorite subject, get a subscription, have it around, coffee table, home desk. You get stressed, pick it up, flip through. It'll take your mind, even if it takes your mind away for 10 minutes. It's a break.
Yeah, and when, a lot of times we react to a stressful situation in a negative way. How many times have we all looked back and said, oh, I wish I didn't react that way? So if you're feeling overwhelmed, read a book, read a magazine. You can listen to a book on tape if you need to, like in the car. If you drive to work, I have to drive to Miami every now and then. And so sometimes a good book on tape, on the radio, really helps to clear my mind and not worry about the traffic.
You can even end up looking forward to that. What is initially a chore? Oh my gosh, I have to drive all the way to Miami. It's so far in the traffic. But if you make that time valuable and put in a book, it becomes something you look forward to. Completely different mood.
So you have to find something that works for you. So these are strategies that work for us, obviously. But what is it that's going to work for you? And if food is something that you reach for, and that's your habit, maybe you reach for something that's healthier. So don't bring your trigger foods into the house. If it's potato chips or ice cream or cookies, leave it at the store. Don't bring it in your home. You're responsible for it if you bring it in the door. So you snack on things that are crunchy, like, vegetables. I have tons of healthy recipes on my blog. And even dessert recipes. So like protein poppers and cookies made out of chickpeas. So you can go to nutritiontammy.com and look at those recipes, but maybe have healthy snacks on hand at all times. So if you have to grab for food, it's something that is healthy and serves a purpose for your body. And what I mean by serve a purpose is that it has some kind of healthy function that's going to enhance your immune system and keep you healthy.
The amazing thing about your healthy desserts, which I've had plenty of her healthy desserts, is that they satisfy the craving, but they nurture your body.
Yeah. You know why they satisfy the craving?
No.
Because there's fiber in it.
Oh.
And I don't tell you there's fiber in it. So, for example, I made these protein poppers, and there's a ton of flax seeds in it. Also, there's oats in it. So fiber makes you feel fuller, longer. It makes you feel satisfied. Protein will do the same thing. So maybe having like hard-boiled eggs in your refrigerator or some chicken, something that you can grab for that's available, it's healthy, serves a purpose, it's going to make you feel satisfied. It'll be your new comfort food.
Protein will make you feel full longer than a carbohydrate.
Yes.
I just learned something.
Oh, look at that. So remember, food distracts you from dealing with the stressful environment. So find a new healthy coping mechanism, whatever it's going to be for your body, and try it out. And you can always let us know, right? You can follow us on social media and say, hey, this was my stress reliever and it worked. We'd love to hear from you. Again, you can contact us at the yoga studio at americanyoga.net.
americanyoga.net, or stop by.
Yeah, you don't have to sign up for a class. Just come on in, check out the schedule, and join us.
There are always schedules right outside the door, so even if you catch us at a time where we're closed and not having classes, you can grab a schedule.
Okay, so we're closing up. So the 5th thing I want to tell you about is to take control. So if you're always waiting to start a new diet or to start yoga or start a nutrition plan, don't wait, because there's always going to be stress in your life. So even if it's good stress, there's always going to be some kind of stressful environment. So don't wait, because if you wait, you're never going to take control and lose weight or get physically active. So start something today. Visit us at the yoga studio. Check out my website, Nutrition Tammy. amp2.tv.com or give me a call, 888-84-TAMMY. You can schedule a free 10 to 15 minute discovery session. And that's a time where I get to know a little bit about you, what your needs are, and I can tell you which nutrition program will work best for you. So give us a call, reach out to us. We would love to help you. We can develop a nutrition plan with you. Monica does private lessons.
I do.
So come on down.
We
check
have a
us
staff
out.
of teachers that do private lessons, and they're
Yes.
all perfect, and I can match up the client with a teacher who I think would be best. If I could, I just want to speak to your don't wait comment. Sometimes the hardest part about going to a class, especially if you're new, is getting there. Just making that decision to put on your yoga clothes and walk through the door and start.
Yep.
Or even if you're experienced, sometimes you'll find other things to do and talk yourself out of it. Sometimes the hardest part is putting on your running shoes to go for that little jog or that walk. Don't overthink it. Just take the action and get there. You will never regret it.
So we hope to see you again, nutritiontammy.com or americanyoga.net. You can also text Get Healthy to 44222. Sign up for my nutrition plan. I'll send you a weekly nutrition plan. You can
Perfect.
eat like a nutritionist. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
This has been Tell Us Your Business, where a special guest comes on every week and tells us what they do. All shows can be seen on amp2.tv, and if you wish to be a guest, call 866-224-5422 and tell us about your business. That's 866-224-5422. This has been an amp2.tv production.